if you're an NBA fan, you may understand what I'm about to say. There were two well-known commissioners. There was David Stern, and then there's Adam Silver. David Stern was that tyrant. You did not want to mess with him. Adam Silver, he's a softer guy. He's more willing to listen to the players. I miss the David Stern era because when David Stern was running the NBA, everyone would talk crap about him. They were like, he's too harsh. There was one time that two NBA players started fighting, and David Stern's like, you're suspended for 15 games. People were like, don't you think that's a little too excessive? David Stern said, who cares if you think it's excessive? 15 games. You did not want to mess around with David Stern. With Adam Silver, he's a little too much, well, let's listen to what the players have to say, which started off as a good thing. But eventually, nowadays, it's like these players, they're entitled due to being given such freedom. They don't appreciate the position that they have. They're over here dressing like clowns. Where David Stern was like, on game day, you cannot wear whatever you want. You wear a suit. And back then, this seemed like one of the worst things. People had all these types of talking points regarding this. David Stern, he thinks he's a slave owner. I mean, it got that radical. Where nowadays, you look at the way that these guys are dressing, and you're like, I kind of miss David Stern's no-nonsense approach. Because I noticed when players, they wore suits to the games, they were more competitive. Nowadays, these guys are all joking around with each other. They're hanging out after the games. There's no competitive fire. Why do we watch sports? We watch it for the competitive fire. And there's a lot of headlines nowadays where it says NBA ratings are down by 20%. And different people are talking about why that's the case. And one of the common theories is it's because they're shooting too many threes. Due to them shooting too many threes, more and more people are tuning out. I don't think that's the problem at all. I like watching the threes, and I think a lot of people like watching the threes as well. I think the problem is that these guys are too friendly and they don't take their job seriously. It makes me cringe when these guys are making $20 to $50 million a year. They don't play every game. Sometimes they're not injured and they're like, well, whatever. I mean, today I just don't feel like playing. And it's because, I truly do believe this. I think it's because of Adam Silver. He just gave the players too much freedom. It's a players' league now. And it's a players' league, it's just, it starts off good because they feel empowered. Then they go from being empowered to entitled. They're like, well, why do we have to play all the games? Well, why do we have to compete? The regular season, I mean, it's just, it's not that important. The playoffs matter, but the regular season doesn't. And it really, I believe, can be traced back to Adam Silver being so soft. Where David Stern, when he was tough, and he said, look, basketball, it's not your playground, okay? This is your job too. You will carry yourself like it's your job. And he had that, oh, it's actually funny. His name is David Stern. And I was going to say he had that stern approach. That is when basketball was in its golden era.